Hello, good afternoon. Warm welcome to Joy Newsroom with me, Pius Kojobaka. Coming up in our headlines, former President John Dramani Mahama criticizes authorities for the slow approach in solving issues on Akosombo flood and its related issues.
Actually need support, they need help. Our understanding is that the water is not going to rise any further, from what we hear from the VRA engineer.
The impact of the Akosombo Dam spillage worsens as flood victims of Mepe in the North Tongue district of the Volta region cry neglect as menstruating ladies claim to have gone days without bathing.
And some of the ladies, they are in their menses, and how they will change themselves, nothing. They can't do anything, so maybe they'll be in one part. As I'm talking to you now, me myself, I'm also a victim.
Plus, another journalist attacked in line of duty this time by NDC supporters who were unhappy events during vetting of the party's parliamentary candidates for the Ododudio constituency in the Greater Accra region. We have details of these and many others lined up for you. Please stay. Grateful for your company. Let's now settle for the details. And former President and NDC 2024 flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has called on the Volta River Authority to hasten efforts to support residents in communities along the Volta River affected by the spillage from the Akosombo Dam. The flooding due to the spillage has forced many communities in the north, south and central Tongue districts of the Volta region to evacuate, leaving them with no choice but to try and salvage what is left of their belongings. On Friday, John Dramani Mahama visited parts of the Sogakofa and Sokoi to assess the impact of the spillage and to meet with affected communities and facilities.
This happens once in a while. It doesn't happen every year. It's just because of climate change. Because normally the rainfall in the north would have started subsiding. But unfortunately, even when I was in the north last week, it was raining very heavily. And so it's unusual weather. It's part of what is happening with the whole change of the climate. And so we just have to see how to adapt. I think that the approach has been a bit lackadaisical. Actually, that's why I came, so that it will let them see that this is real. I mean, sometimes when you read it in the media, you think it's just a joke. But these are people's lives. I mean, imagine 300 dead bodies, all families called to come and evacuate their bodies, look for other mortuaries to take the bodies to. I mean, that's real. Imagine the Komboni Hospital, which serves the whole of that area, shutting down. They've evacuated the patients. It's left with only 10 patients, you know, and if it doesn't get better by tomorrow, next tomorrow, they might have to discharge those patients too. Some of them are in critical care. How are you going to move them? So what is happening is real. And I expect that, you know, government should take it a bit more seriously. I think that the number of people who have been displaced, especially when we went to the hospital, you saw that the medical personnel have all been evacuated from their quarters and they are seeking shelter in a pavilion in the hospital. So they actually need support, they need help. Our understanding is that the water is not going to rise any further. From what we hear from the VRA engineer, he says they've reached the peak of the spillage. So it means that it won't get worse. But it will take time to get better because it will take time for the water to recede and the place to become dry again. We've had unusually heavy rainfall in the northern part of the country. I was in the north last week and I noticed that the White Volta had reached its upper limit. And so all that water is coming down to Akosombo. And so the people really need assistance. Unfortunately, my understanding is that NADMO has nothing. Happily, we've heard that VRA said they are going to support with some relief. And so I thank VRA and appeal to them that the people are in need. And so whatever relief they want to give, they should expedite that relief so that they can assist people to be able to cope with the current situation. But I think that this visit will let the government and the whole of Ghana see what exactly is happening here. It's not just a story that is being told by people. It is the reality of people's lives following the spillage of the Akosombo Dam.
All right, so there's a need for us to go to the Volta region right about now, where our correspondent, Ivy Setoji, is standing by to fill us in with the very latest. Ivy, thanks so much for joining me on Joy Newsroom. What's the latest you can report from Mepe?
Well, currently it's raining heavily as people are trying to cross the rainwater by canoe to the other side, where some of the affected residents are being hosted. That's the St. Senior High School. By canoe, and it's also a business there where some canoe operators are trying to get money out of the affected residents. So it's raining, but people are still crossing because even where they are, the safe haven is also kind of flooded, except that they have some just few places that they could just stay for the meantime, and then the school in Mefe. So currently, people are even more stranded because of the rain, as they're trying to move their properties from one place to another. So currently, that's the situation here in Mefe.
I'm pretty sure you've been engaging residents of Mefe. What have they been telling you?
Well, the residents, the situation is getting serious, especially because of the rain, and most of them have lost property in the rain, especially those whose houses have been totally submerged in the water. And so what they are looking out for is government authorities to come to their aid. Well, right now, if you come to Mefe, its environment, you see what is happening. It's so sad. It is a sad situation here as people are trying to see what they can do. Some families are trying to send their children to other towns. Some send them to Accra to families to stay with while they stay back to solve the situation. So currently the situation is very bad according to the residents.
Thank you very much, Ivy Setoji. Keep monitoring events for us, and of course we shall come to you as and when development unfolds in that part of the country. Let's stay a while longer on rains matters. Over 3,000 residents who have been displaced and have been evacuated to safe havens in Kizito School premises in Mepe in the North Ton district of the Volta region lament the harsh conditions at the various emergency assembly centers. The Volta River Authority commenced the spillage of excess water at the Akunsubud Hydro Dam on September 15, 2023, due to rising levels of the dams, which led to flooding in some 9 districts. Now, speaking to Joy News during the donation of some relief items by the Volta River Authority, the flood victims say conditions at the so-called safe havens are dire. Some of the victims have been speaking to my colleague Carlos Caloni.
Now, this is the only thing I have. My cooking utensils, everything got drawn. Even our roofing sheet is very small for the roofing sheet to start showing. You can't even see the roofing sheet again. So we are pleading. Even our school fees, we don't have anything. The small that we have that we use to support ourselves has finished. So we are calling on the government to come to our aid. Otherwise, we don't know where to start and where to end it.
So you've been here for how many days?
A month now.
I mean, the situation that happened, they brought you to this school?
4 days. 4 days now.
Tell us the experience here.
Oh.
Place to bath, I mean, where to poo-poo. And
the bathing, yeah, I can't remember the last time. Since the thing has started, I've never bathed. Because there's nowhere you fetch the water to bath. Even the water that you can't even fetch, not to talk of bathing. That's the whole thing. And some of the ladies, they are in their menses, and how they would bath, change themselves, nothing. They can't do anything. So maybe they'll be in one part. As I'm talking to you now, me myself, I'm also a victim. Thank you.
So share with us the fact that you are sharing the same room with different people that you don't know, cross-infection and all that.
Because of how the flood is moving, when you hear that it's somewhere here, you need to move to the other side. If it is here, you have to move to Party B. We are just running, just to save our lives.
The victims say they would prefer relocation to the Saglemi housing unit. Patayas Agbenyo Nomenyo is the assembly member for the Dogome electoral area.
As I'm talking to you now, over 7,000 people have been affected. There's nowhere to cook. The community, especially the cemetery sites, the toilets, they haven't been submerged. So it affects the water entirely. So now when they bring food items like this, where to cook those things becomes a problem. So we want government to set the people with hot meals thrice in a day. For sure, the place continues. So we don't know where it will land us. So we know there is an affordable house at Chopoli over there. It is better the government convey everyone over here to a safer place there, so that we can stay there for a while. When this problem is over, we can come back to resettle over here. So this is what we are demanding the government to do for us. Come and convey everybody, take to Chopoli, the affordable house over there, for us to stay there and then live comfortably.
But speaking to Joy News, Deputy Director of NADMO, Seji Saji, assured that concerns are being addressed.
Our issue is that as safe havens, we are trying as much as possible to provide all those facilities to make their stay there, give them some comfort. It will not be like their homes, but we are trying to get that done. We know that some of the safe havens don't have those washroom facilities, but we are trying to get something done about that. I told you about the Director of Health working to have some of the nurses in some of the safe havens. As I even speak, there are some of the nurses at some of the safe havens attending to the health needs of those victims at the safe havens. So far, we have recorded very high numbers already, and the way things are going, we are likely to record more numbers. So far, in all the 6 safe havens in North Town, 14,000 people, that's the population, they say 14 to 17,000 for the population of Mefe. So a quarter of Mefe, which is being inundated now, those along the river banks, we are looking at in the region of about 4,000 getting to 5,000. But when the situation subsides a little, we might be able to put out more accurate figures. But those we have in the safe havens are getting close to 3,000, and we are likely to record more because we are told that the spillage might not go down anytime soon. Maybe we might have another 4 or 5 days to 1 week to go.
And we do know that the Volta River Authority has donated relief items estimated to be worth a little over 1 million Ghana cedis to thousands of flood victims following the spillage of the Akonsombo Dam. Now, the Volta River Authority commenced the spilling of excess water from the Akonsombo Hydro Dam on September 15 due to rising levels of the dam, which has led to flooding in some 9 districts downstream. While presenting tracts of relief items to the affected persons, the VRA stated that it will stand with flood victims throughout these trying times as it manages the spillage to protect the integrity of the dam. Carlos Caloni has the rest of the story.
To mitigate the inconveniences of flood victims caused by the controlled spillage of the Akosombo Dam, the Volta River Authority VRA has donated tracts of relief items estimated to be worth over 1 million Ghana cedis to affected persons. The items included toiletries, bags of rice and sugar, plastic bucket with bowls, mattresses, canned food, drinking water, among others. The authority is also providing affected residents with portable water through both sachet water supply mechanisms and water tanker services. Handing over the items to NADMO officials and the Emergency Management Committee EMC at the North Tongue District Assembly on October 13, 2023, Deputy CEO in charge of services, Engineer Kenneth Arthur, said the authority will continue to stand with flood victims through these trying periods across the 9 affected districts.
VRA has already collaborated with NADMO to bring some relief items. But what you are seeing now, we seek to intensify our humanitarian efforts to bring in more relief items. So that is what you're seeing here. So basically, we are targeting 9 districts in all. We joined NADMO to donate the first batch of items at Central Town, that's at Didobe. We are here now at North Town, and we'll be looking at the other districts. So basically, we have food items like rice, mackerel, and then some cooking oil, and then sanitary things like toilet rolls, etc. These are, different items that we're sending to the different areas. I must also say that we have a water tanker in the locality, that is supplying potable, clear water to all the affected people, especially those who have been moved to the safe havens, as well as the households who need that service. We have promised that we are going to be with the people until this storm is over. As I said earlier, we've already donated to NADMO to supply some relief items, and we are intensifying it, as you can see here. So we are committed to make sure that throughout the storm, we bring relief to the people who have been evacuated from their original homes until this flood recedes.
Speaking to Joy News after receiving the items, Deputy Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, Saji, commended the VRA for the gesture, saying the donation will help bring some respite to the flood victims.
The general issue is that as safe havens, we are trying as much as possible to provide all those facilities to make their stay there, give them some comfort. It will not be like their homes, but we are trying to get that done. We know that some of the safe havens don't have those washroom facilities, but we are trying to get something done about that.
Meanwhile, the District Chief Executive for North Tongue, Divine Feno, mentioned that the Assembly will continue to work with the VRA to ensure the flood victims, especially the aged and children, are provided with the best care at their safe havens.
For now, at one of the centers, we have agreed that we group the people